Welcome back to the AT Shack. Today we're going to be putting on these pannier racks and panniers on a 2009 KLR650. Now this set of racks and boxes will fit on KLRs from 2008 to 2018, and it's the exact same process install wise. Let's get into it. Comes with 5 pages of pretty detailed install instructions. It may seem a little bit overwhelming, but it's really not that hard of a process. I'm in the middle of a few other things going on with the KLRs. I already have the seat and these side panels removed, which will have to happen. We are currently on step 2, remove 4 bolts holding the rear subframe fender / taillight mount and let it hang. Go ahead and look under the rear fender. These are the 4 bolts right here. 10mm. Now that's loose. Find the right blinker wire connector. It's a gray connector located on the left side of the bike near the rear fender under the seat. So this must be it. It wants us to reroute the wire to the right side of the bike. So let's go ahead and get this disconnected. This is apart. Let's see what's going on under here. So we just have to fish this wire. You can see it popping out. There it goes. Beautiful. That's plugged back in. The rear fender piece can go back up now. I'm going to go ahead and put a little bit of Loctite on these bolts since we have them out. And we are on step 5. Remove rear stock rack by taking out the Allen bolts on the side and top plate. Carefully lay the rack upside down in the seat area without binding the left blinker wires. These are the side bolts right here, 6mm. Same on the other side. And here are the top ones. This is a 5mm. Take it and flip it upside down. Be careful once you have this piece flipped upside down. There's going to be a lot of tension on this left side. Now I have to take these screws out. Phillips. We'll just leave that like that for now. It looks like we are on step 6 currently. Remove blinkers, collars, and rubber grommets from the rack. Let the blinkers hang. And let's see, next is remove the helmet lock from the rack. Let's get going on that. This is going to be a 5mm hex and a 10mm in the back. Wrench, I'm just using the socket from earlier. Go ahead and loosen those up. Same thing on the other side. The helmet lock is as well a 5mm. The luggage rack is now completely free, so I'm going to go ahead and move it out of the way. This is the left side signal. We are on step 8. It wants us to cut 2 inches from where the turn signal wire comes out of, so right about here. In the kit, here's your extension wire. It has some butt connectors in here. I'm going to have to strip a little bit of the wire on both ends here. Now it looks like the colors of these wires do not correspond with the aftermarket wire right here. So just make sure you pick a color. For instance, blue. We'll go blue, black, blue, black. That's black, yellow, black, yellow. Go ahead and crimp. I'm going to go ahead and test the blinkers really quick. Bueno. Beautiful. Both turn signals are working properly. Now I'm just going to use some electrical tape and close this all up. Alright, I can go ahead and put the rack back on. And just put these 2 bolts on for now. Just hand tight, nothing too serious. Once we have everything on, I'm going to pop those out again and put some Loctite on and get it nice and tight. And we are currently on step 10. Reinstall the left side panel. The right side panel is designed to be removed for the air filter access when the pannier racks are installed, but the left side needs to be reinstalled before the pannier racks. Okay, so we have to put this plastic piece back up. Almost forgot, we do have to remove these stock rubber grommets. Just go ahead and get a flathead and push these little metal pieces through the back side. Same thing on the other side. Currently on step 11, remove existing Allen bolt from the top passenger peg bracket on each side. That's this one right here, 6mm. Same thing on the other side. Install your rack starting with the middle 8mm by 80mm bolt, then the front 8mm by 35mm passenger peg bolts, then the rear 6mm by 25mm bolts. So here's what came in the kit. These are your largest bolts. Here's the rack. I'm going to put a little bit of Loctite on the bolt. I'm just going to go ahead and hand tighten everything for now. Down here above the passenger foot peg is this bolt right here, the one size smaller than the one you put on top. And we are halfway through step 12. We have the bolts, main one, the bottom one here. Now, we have to do the back plating on here and the blinker extensions. Oh, look at that, step 16. Crack open another beer. Don't mind if I do. So in the kit you'll find these two pieces. This one right here will go all the way behind. And this piece, this is your kind of new bracket. This is where your turn signals will be mounted. Loctite, Loctite, Loctite. There's one, and there's two. A little F up on my part. Make sure this flat surface is towards you, and these towards the back. Now that I have the brackets on, I can go ahead and remount the turn signals, and you'll be using the original hardware that you took off. And these are fine just to go ahead and tighten securely. Now that we have the blinkers back on, we can go ahead and mount the helmet lock on this rear brace that goes in between the pannier racks. Pretty easy to figure out which side is which. You'll notice the Tusk sticker. Just make sure it's right side up. So your helmet lock's going to be on the left side. And you'll be using the original parts. A little bit of Loctite. Alright, we are all the way down to step 17, tighten rear rack brace. So here's your rear rack brace. So we'll go in between the two pannier racks, and you'll be using these bolts right here, along with these nuts. These are locking nuts. I'm going to go ahead and just skip the Loctite on them. Tighten these down now. 10mm for the nut as well as the bolt. Now we can go ahead and get the signal wire zip tied down and out of the way. You can go ahead and do this however you prefer. Just gonna get a couple spots here. Just finishing up with the left side. You will have a lot of excess wire from the right side turn signal here. Just try to tuck it down, maybe connect it to some of this existing wire so it won't move around on you. Okay, so we are finally ready to get the panniers on the actual racks. I went ahead and I tightened all the bolts. Everything is nice and secure. Go ahead and grab these brackets that will hold on the actual boxes. There's a left and right side, and you will know which is which. It's even labeled on here. Go ahead and pop those on. You'll notice the bracket here is loose. Now we want this steady. What we'll have to do while putting the box up, we want to figure out where we want to position it. From the back, we'll want to use a marker and mark those points where we'll be drilling into. So a good way to keep this steady, go ahead and put a zip tie to this bottom hole right here. At this point, I recommend having a second person with you. That way someone can hold up the pannier while the other person is marking from the back. I'm just marking as many holes as possible from the rear. Go ahead and take this bracket back off. Now that I have the drill points marked on the actual box here, to line up the bracket, make sure everything matches up okay. It's looking good. Just do a piece of electrical tape straight across, just to kind of help it. I'm not sliding around. 5/16 drill bit. Let's see how well this baby goes through it. Beautiful. I'm actually gonna go ahead and put a bolt through here. Just gonna help it keep this bracket in place. Now I'm gonna go exactly opposite. Go ahead and pop another bolt in here. Now this is what I should have done from the get-go instead of starting on this middle one here. Now you have two secure spots on opposite ends, and I'm going to go ahead and drill the rest of these holes. Beautiful. Go ahead and take this off. So here's the left side box that I just drilled through. Here's the right side box. They are side by side. All I have to do now is come on the inside here and go ahead and mark. And if marked correctly, the hole should line right up. I will do the same thing with this box as the previous one. So now we want to go ahead and throw our spacers down. It's going to go between the actual bracket and the box. This bar right here is crucial. You have to put it on the inside of the box. And what they want you to do is run the bolts from the outside in. And why from the outside in? Well, those pins that disconnect and connect the box run along here. So I think you want more clearance on the top here. Let's go ahead and put these bolts through. These are going to be the 25mm. I'm going to go ahead and put Loctite on all of these. The nuts are 13mm, and the hex bolts on the top here, they are 5mm. Now these other bolts, go ahead and run from the inside to the outside. Do not forget your washers from the inside. Okay, I got everything on here nice and tight. So if you did it correctly, you'll have no bolts, washers, or nuts left. This is what it should look like. You have washers under the back side of the bracket here, the back side of the box. These bolts go from outside to in. All the other bolts go from inside to out. And on the inside here, here's your bracket, no washers, and a washer behind each of these bolts. The kit comes with 2 of these Pannier safety bolts. So just in case that latch fails on one of these, the box won't fall off, as well as you can't take the box off without unlocking the top lid, so kind of a theft deterrent. Let's go ahead and put this on. The kit comes with a marking bolt. It's going to go on the top left side of the pannier rack. Go ahead and put that all the way through. Grab yourself a rubber mallet and give it a little bit of a nick. Now you know where to drill the hole for that locker. This is the 5/16 again. Last step, we have to get these latches on the boxes so we can actually lock the lid on top. Now I believe all these bolts are the exact same size. Let's take a look. Go ahead and grab your plate. It's gonna go screw, washer, nut, and of course don't forget a little bit of Loctite. So I'm just getting these 2 bottom on right now, and on the top 4 here, that's where the latch is going to go on to. Just a Phillips and an 8mm. Now it's time to put the latch on. With these, go with the screw from the outside to inside and the acorn nuts on the inside. Now with the latch here, make sure this latch is on the outside. And go ahead and put those on, and it should look something like this. I'm going to go ahead and repeat the same process on the other side of this box and finish off the other box. Beautiful. Overall, pretty easy install. Just be ready to spend some time on this. I would say between 3 to 4 hours total. Catch you guys in the next one.